Warning. The following live broadcast may contain loud, obnoxious, shrill, and alarming noises that might be considered disturbing, if not outright uncomfortable to listen to, especially if you are wearing headphones. I share my office space with an African gray parrot and two parakeets, and I have no control over their behavior while I am live streaming, unlike my regular videos, where I have the opportunity to edit them out as best as I can. It's like already, see, it's like Pavlov's parrot. If you are sensitive to loud, surprising background noises, I recommend either not turning your volume up too loud or watching my edited pre-recorded videos instead when I remember to make them. So, viewer discretion is advised. There we go. Good grief. So yeah, it really is. Like the second I hit that button or I start talking to a microphone, he goes, it's showtime. It's time to make the noises. So, oh, brother. So hello. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so hey, okay, Fern. Hello. Hey, so excuse me there. Hold on, let me get some hydration going before I get started. Although you would think that it'd be logically I should do that before I hit start stream, right? And yes, I see you, my beautiful eyeball people watching from regions beyond. Luckily I don't stream to Facebook, so we don't have to worry about it. So welcome. Welcome from YouTube. Welcome from Twitch. And if you want to have a direct conversation, there you go. So yes, very important to have that background noise while cleaning OR. Very, very important. Very important, Lorraine. Oh, hello, Melissa. Hello. Welcome. Yes. And like I said, if you are one of the eyeball people, if you want to have a direct conversation with me, come over to YouTube, join the sexy people in the chat, keep Lorraine company while she's cleaning her OR. And keep me company too directly. And while you're here, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever any of our shows go live. And the one and only Jake Twister. Hello, welcome. I told you I would run the stream looking for you. So hello. Oh my goodness. So I guess let me get the party started here. There's a lot of work to do today. So hello everyone. My name is Daphne Lage and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since in 1992, and you know what that means.
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go. I got nothing else.
I swear that sentiment just gets more and more, as the time goes on. Oh, and I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales and my medieval fantasy drama EGORAVEN, Heir the First Unicorn, which is currently on Kickstarter with issue 10 of this 16-issue series. The link is in the chat and in the show notes below. If you want to check out the campaign. Thank you, everybody who've supported so far. And I am also a co-host with Nita Lanning on the Rage Into the Vlogs show every Monday and Friday at 11 a.m. on the Indie Comics Network. You can read both my comics online. I'm sorry, it's like this particular noise. I swear to God, I keep saying it's like being in a Kurt Vonnegut novel. It's like every time he does this particular noise, it really, really throws me off mentally. Like, I don't know what is it with this noise. So you can read both my comics online at egoworks.com. That's EGOWORKS, and Tall Tales, TAILS online.com. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on my channel on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lage art, which also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network as well. So like I said, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that when any of our shows, my shows, Nita's shows, any shows go live, you will get that notification. So oh no, don't make it a habit of looking though. Oh no. Oh my goodness. So yeah, so speaking of the campaigns, let me see if I can do this right. So I'm just going to switch over. I'm just going to switch over to that. And there we go. So I just want to thank the 98 backers who have pledged to EGORAVEN Heir the First Unicorn issue 10 on Kickstarter, raising $2,800. Thank you so much for that. We still have 22 days to go. There's plenty of time to pledge if this is the first time of you seeing this campaign. It is a fantasy drama about a unicorn princess exiled into the mortal realm and how she trains to become a knight in order to fight the dragons that took over her kingdom. And yeah, so like I said, there's 22 days to go to pledge to the campaign, and we are on our way to the first stretch goal. So if I just like scroll down without making everybody dizzy here. We are on our way to get to the first stretch goal, which is the EGORAVEN cosplay postcard, where EGORAVEN is cosplaying Chapel Roan, as I recently learned because I never heard this woman's name spoken out loud before. Cosplaying as the Pink Unicorn Club mascot, or whatever that video is, right? The Pink Pony Club video. So yeah, so we're on our way to that stretch goal. So like I said, thank you so much, everybody who's pledged to the campaign so far. So the other campaign that I just want to show off so that everybody can see it as well is the Tenchi Muyo. So this was a book that I lettered back in the day, I think it was 1997 when this series came out. Written by J.D. Calderon, who also wrote Tall Tales, and Matthew Lunsford, who illustrated it. And back in 1997, we were one of the first teams to do original. It's not an adaptation. It's an actual original story based on the anime Tenchi Muyo, and we were one of the first teams to do that. You might also remember us from our illustrious work on La Blue Girl and Demon Beast Invasion. So, hey HR. And so it happens that someone had gotten, Armature Entertainment, not someone, Armature Entertainment got the rights to the comic book version that we did, and are collecting it into a trade paperback for the first time. We didn't even get a trade paperback back in the day because that wasn't really a thing back then. So we just did the 6 issues and that was it. So, but now there's a trade paperback of the work that we did. And I just want to thank the 373 people who have pledged $39,541 on this campaign. We are so close to the $50,000 goal. And the more money that this campaign makes, the more Armature Entertainment is going to be able to expand on this American continuity that we essentially started with Pioneer. So so I guess it would help if I put the link in the show notes. But you know what? Just look up Tenchi on the hold on. Actually, let me put the link in the show notes before I forget, because it makes more sense if I could just put a link in the show notes for you. So let me just do that. So there we go. So the link is now in the chat to this campaign. So there's 25 days left on the campaign, and like I said, it's like once we hit goal, the further above goal we can get, the more likely that we can continue this series beyond the 6 issues here that's being collected. So so I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew about this campaign. So so really it's like what's old is new again. That's for sure. So let me just put myself back to normal here. So that's pretty much part, like the big things that have been going on. Like I said, it's kind of weird having my campaign and the Tenchi campaign going on at the same time. It's just kind of weird having this come back up again. I mean, time really is a flat circle, but like I said, I'm really glad that we're finally getting a collected trade paperback. It's also available in hardcover for anybody who's interested in that as well. It's just interesting to just have these two campaigns going on at the same time. So chat, both EGORAVEN and Tenchi, the links are in the chat as well. It's like Taylor said, come back stronger than a 90s trend. Technically Tenchi is a 90s trend. So I think what did they say? Like the book came out in 97, I think. So so it's all it's time is a flat circle. So so what else? It like I said, it's just been like really, really busy ever since the EGORAVEN campaign was launched. Now it's just like and of course, and because of that, like yesterday I just got my proof for EGORAVEN issue 10. So it's official. Even though I was skirting under that line, like barely finishing the issue before I hit launch, but I did finish it the night before. So, but now I have the official comic. This is the actual comic that you're going to get when you pledge to issue 10. So as you can see, it's in full color. What I really liked was this is the first time that I tried some I don't know, some a different different design things, like with full bleeds and whatnot. I know that doesn't seem like a big deal, but in Clip Studio Paint, finally being able to figure out proper bleeds was actually very nice for me. So so I was able to do like a little like experimental design work in here, which I really like the way they came out. So so if you pledge to the issue 10 campaign, the book is completed. Oh, hey Tornado, hello. And after the second the campaign is done, I just send the files to my printer, and within 2 weeks I usually get the books back. And then on the third week I am able to start sending out the books to everybody. So I'm a favorite what is it? It's like, I think it's like a favorite favorite, not backer, but favorite something on Kickstarter, because I fulfill favorite creator. I think that the title is staff pick. No, I haven't gotten. Oh, hey Gothic, hello. Not staff pick, unfortunately. No, I didn't get staff pick or Project Relove this time around. But I think like it's called favorite creator because I am good with updates, and I fulfill very quickly. Backer favorite. That's probably what it is. I knew the word backer was in there somewhere. Yeah, it's backer favorite. And this is the reason why I do not launch a campaign unless the book is done. And like I said, I barely made it, but it's done, and I have the proof, and everything is still on schedule. Yes, the Nintendo seal of approval. So yeah, so that is done. So pledge with confidence, goodness. So so since I finished issue 10, and I still had like kind of like a couple of weeks before the end of the month, I decided to take this time to kind of like catch up with some other things before I start working on issue 11, right? So even though technically we're supposed to be starting issue 11, or at least kind of get something done on issue 11 today, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So another thing so I have one more commission that I have to finish. It has nothing to do with House of Bob. This is just a standard commission that I had to put aside because of House of Bob, because I wanted to finish House of Bob first. So now I could finally get to this commission. I have the background sketched out already. Now I just have to sketch out the characters and position them in the background. And then I just have to get that sent to the commissioner to get it approved. And then my goal is to have it finished by the end of the month, so that by May 1st, I can really start on issue 11 in earnest. It's like issue 10 for some reason was taking me way too long. I thought that was going to be like a month and a half, 2-month project, and it ended up almost, like a little over 3 months to finish that issue, when it wasn't supposed to be that way. So I'm hoping to take less time to finish issue 11. So I want to start it in earnest in May and have it finished by the end of June. I mean, the book is penciled. I don't understand why it took me so long to finish it. All I have to do is just ink and color it, But I think it has a lot to do with the fact that now there's a lot of characters now interacting at the same time, like even more so than the previous issues, and that's kind of throwing me off. I have a tendency to procrastinate on that, but we're going to have to get over that. We're going to have to get over that. So another thing that I was working on too is it's like yes, I got everything done. Thank you, HR. Yes. Melissa says, I would love to finish an issue in 3 months. I've been working on my most recent book since January, and I'm barely 60% done. Well, you're traditionally doing your work, right? Because you're airbrushing and everything. I'm doing everything digitally. Honestly, if I was working traditionally, I wouldn't have been done with as much work as I have now. I'm always going to thank Clip Studio Paint for allowing me to speed up my process. But it's like Jake is like going 2 months with pencils. Call me impressed. I have sketched 400 plus pages without a single budge to pencils for the last 3 years. Look, sometimes it just takes as long as it takes. That's the thing. With the pencils, I spent the early part of last year. No, I finished it at the early part of last year, I think. Like I spent a good portion of 2023 in the early part of 2024, or was it 2024? Oh, I don't remember. I would have to look it up. Where I was just grinding on the pencils. Like I really wanted to get all 16 issues done, just so it's supposed to make the rest of the process faster. So yes and no. Like it did, because I can say the story's done. All I'm literally doing is just tracing pages when I'm inking. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just being, I don't know, fussy. I don't know. It's like, but like I said, issue 11, I want to finish that in 2 months. Or at least definitely before I launch issue 11 in July. So it has to be finished in that time frame. Another thing though, for those of you who are kind of wondering, or maybe not wondering, and I'm just reminding you of it. So I didn't make the first wave of Anime NYC. So on the 14th, when I launched EGORAVEN, I got a email saying that I was waitlisted for an Anime NYC, and I couldn't remember if I had mentioned don't bother putting me on the wait list or putting me on the wait list, but in a certain amount of time. And it seems like past me had told them to put me on the 3-month wait list. So what that means is that by May 1st, I will absolutely know for sure if I'm in or not in Anime NYC. Um, the whole so I guess like so after May 1st, it's a done deal. I'm either in or I'm not. Because I remember them having this option where you could literally say waitlist yourself a week before the convention. Like if you're a local, it's like, oh, contact me a week before. And it's like, no, 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 no. I don't have time for that because it's like, this is the type of convention where, yeah, it's like I'm going to need that 3 months if I am going to do that. So just to prep certain things. And, yeah, so May 1st is the absolute deadline. So I'll know for sure if I'm going to be there or not. However, I still have Baltimore Comic Con. I decided not to cancel that, so I'm still good to go to Baltimore Comic Con. So I've just been doing like little things, in this time frame that I have, just to get like a whole bunch of little things done for that. Um, So what I was doing is just going through like some of the inventory that I have already. Well, what little inventory I had after the House of Bob campaign, because I had tied up a lot of stuff in the House of Bob and I didn't want to account for anything until that campaign is done. So now the campaign's done. I know for sure what I have. And now I'm just going through certain things to see like what I can take to Baltimore Comic Con. So one of the first things that I did was I have like a whole stack. It's not a whole stack, but I mean maybe like 20 prints left of this Rocket Raccoon print, the signed print. So what I did was I put like these little plastic tabs on them and a little like branding sticker on the back, and so that I can like have these at Baltimore. So this is going to be, so this is the last of it. So I'm hoping to just like, move like a bunch of these there. This is like kind of like clear out the last of my inventory, so that I could start like really bringing in new stuff that I have been working on. So yeah, so I've been like preparing these prints so that I could put them, yes, because they're supposed to go. So here's like the hanger that I use right on the grids, and then they're just gonna hang like that. So yeah, so I was fussing with that. And then another thing that I decide to fuss with is I have like a whole bunch of like stickers and buttons that kind of like, that I kind of like have lying around, but not really enough to like really like, I don't know, make it worth keeping as individual inventory. So what I did was I divided up a lot. I divided them up and I made little hanging tags so that now I have like these little packs. So this is my Rocket Raccoon, or if like Galaxy Raccoon pack that I'm going to have. I'm probably going to put this up on my store as well. I have a couple of variations of this. I think the other one, oh yeah, here's the other. variation that I have of. So I have like 2 variations of it. So I have this one that's just rocket. So it comes with a sticker, a magnet, and a button. And I made like these hanging tags on my printer. So again, it's gonna like go like that. I think that looks really neat, right? I think that looks like nice, and it's gonna look nice on the display with the branding. And so yeah, so I made this, and then the other one that I made was, this is the 3 buttons and a magnet. So, so it's like, yes, it's going to be like 2 different sets. One is just rocket, and these are just like the pins, and the magnet. So I think that this just makes it like neater to sell. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, and it really helped me consolidate what I had left into like these neat little packs. So, like I said, I just like the way that they look hanging like that. So yeah, so I just printed these on my color printer. I have an 8.5 by 11 Canon Pixma something or another. Like this large one is the Pixma 100. I forgot what the other one. I think it's like a Pixma 7000. And all I did was just printed it on like index paper, and then just trimmed it and folded it, and then it's just like something really easy to make. And I think that it really, like I said, it really does make it like it's a nice presentation, as opposed to just having like, oh, stickers are $1 or something like that. I just think it looks a lot nicer like this. So I'm looking forward to bringing these to Baltimore Comic Con. So yeah, also I just like the fact that I was able to like I said, clean up my inventory a bit. Also, it's like I'm waiting for more like bags to come in. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I have, yeah. So this is the hook that they're all going to go on, and I have the grid, the grid display that this hooks on that. So, so it looks like so it's going to look really nice. Actually, let me see if I mean, well, actually, no, because it's like Photoshop is gonna like I have too many things open on my computer, and I'm afraid that if I open up Photoshop, it's going to crash everything. So I'd rather not do that. I'll show it next time. Yeah, it's the grid system, and I have it all decked out. I still have to do like a separate video. You know what, let me take that chance. Actually, I think I can just open it up in Clip Studio, since I have Clip Studio open already. Let me see, so I can show you what the display looks like. Where is it? Oh, grid cube display. I think this is it. So let me see if this opens correctly. Because there's I have these grid cubes, and I've been like working on trying to like make it not look like a grid cube. So let me see. Let me just take this out. All right. Oh, how do I? Okay. All right. All right. So let me just. Yeah, I'm working. I'm just trying to get this to go on my Cintiq here. So let me switch it. So yeah, so this is the display that so this is a display that I have, that I put together, that, so as you can see, it has the wires that these clips are going to go on. So yeah, so I have yet to do I have all the covers done, and I have all the panels done up, but I have yet to put together the actual display. So I'm going to have So yeah, so I'm going to have to do like okay, there we go. So yeah, so this is how the display is going to look, and then these hooks hang on it, and then I'm going to have everything hanging on these. Um well, at HR, I don't have time to sculpt, but I did do some like cutouts. Oh, should have thrown that. I did do some character cutouts that are going to go all the way at the top of the display. So that's the closest that I have to that. But I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sculpting anything because I don't have time for that. But yeah, but so theoretically, this is how the display is supposed to look. I have yet to put it together. So, but this is what it's going to look like. Like I said, if I'm lucky, I get to show it off at Anime NYC. If not, at Baltimore, we're going to try it at Baltimore and see what happens. So let me just. There we go. So we're just going to close that out. Actually, since we're already, over the half hour mark, I might as well just, I guess, like, just kind of like give you a hint at my little dilemma that that I have right now. So I know that the point of today's show was that I was supposed to start working on issue 11. I have, so issue 11 is right here. So this is the page that I'm looking to start. But I ended up, I don't know, because I had like this little bit of free time. Let me just put this stuff away because it's a little distracting. I get a little distracted if my environment is messy a bit. So I know that I said that I was going to work on comic pages, right? That logically I should be working on I should start on issue 11, right? So this is the page that I have to get working on it, right? However, I did these two sketches here that I don't know. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should work on these too. Before I get to issue 11. I'm not sure. So hold on. Let me see. Let me put these. Okay, let me put these here. So these two, I've been ever since Halloween, right? I've been kind of doing these little EGORAVEN cosplay pieces. It started off as a joke, but then at the same time, kind of like, I'm kind of liking this idea, of doing like, and especially like maybe offering up prints of, these cosplay EGORAVEN. And and I've done a couple already. I think I did 4. I did Lady Amalthea from The Last Unicorn. I did She-Ra. I did what was the other one? Oh, Beauty and the Beast. And what was the last? Oh, Ripley. that was really an off the wall one. Was the Ripley one, but it came out really, really good. So I really enjoyed that. Right. And of course, the latest one is on the campaign right now. It's the Chapel Roan cosplay. And now I have these two. So I have EGORAVEN as Red Sonja. This is based on the Frank Thorne, the very iconic Frank Thorne Red Sonja cover. And then I had this random idea. It's a kind of like a baseball theme. So it's like it's EGORAVEN, like EGORAVEN with Mr. Met from the Mets baseball team, and she's going to be dressed in the colors, the Mets color, and of course there's Mr. Met in the background. So let's see. So Melissa says you got to mix it up from time to time so you don't get burnt out on comics. True. Let's see. So Jake, did you want to say something, or you're pointing? What are you pointing at? What are you pointing? What if you did an EGORAVEN Monopoly game? You did the tarot deck. Well, I only did. No. I didn't do. Well, I didn't do it. No, I did a tarot card for somebody else, but I haven't. At Melissa's comment, yeah, I should mix it up, right? So, because I know that once I start issue 11, that's the only thing I'm going to be able to do until it's done, right? So yeah, so maybe there's a point in maybe not going head first into issue 11 just yet, and maybe kind of like warming up with a cosplay piece, just to kind of like, keep it playful, keep it like goofing around. The Mets mascot is way less spooky than the Philly Fanatic. Well, what's funny? If I did a convention, because the idea behind doing the Mets piece was that I thought it would be funny if I had like a very specific EGORAVEN piece, like cosplay piece, for whatever city I'm in convention wise. So so it's like I figured it's like, well, I'm here already, right? So let's start off with the Mets, right? So I'm gonna have so I'm starting off with Mr. Met, right? So the next piece that I want to do is the Baltimore Orioles. Baltimore Orioles. So where they have like an Oriole bird as their mascot, so it's not as frightening either. Although if I ever did end up in Philadelphia, I would do one with the Philly Fanatic. So oh right, that no absolutely. See, but that's the thing though, I would have to do Gritty as well because Gritty is too iconic, so I would have to do 2 for Philly just to make sure both of them are covered, because you have the Philly Fanatic and then you have Gritty. Even though Gritty is hockey, it's like that's fine. Gritty is too iconic to not do a print of, but I would have to end up in Philadelphia. Maybe if I ever go back to that's no, it's Philly. Yeah, it's Philly. If I go to Anthrocon. If I go back to Anthrocon, then I can do, because that's in Philadelphia. So I would do the 2 Philadelphia icons. So there you go. So yeah, so I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Which of the three do you guys want to see me start working on today? I'll give you a couple of minutes. So I'll give you like 5 minutes to decide. So what do you want? You want Comic Page? You want Mr. Met? Or do you want Red Sonja? Who do you guys want me to start working on? Which one of these pieces do you guys want me to start working on? So let's see. Yeah, Lorraine says Philly is not a long oh, here we go. Yeah. She says Philly is not a long drive from Baltimore. I don't know. Everything, just by driving, everything seems far away from me. Let's just get the heaviest load. Okay, so we have all right, Melissa votes for Mr. Met. HR votes for Red Sonja. So we have 1 vote for Mr. Met and 1 vote for a Red Sonja. So who's gonna, do we have another vote? Do we have another vote here? But yeah, it's like I don't know. It's just like because the other thing that I've been thinking about doing is oh, now we have one for comic. All right, we have one vote for each. We have one vote for each. Okay, so who okay, you know what? The next vote breaks the tie. The next vote breaks the tie. Who yeah, we need a tiebreaker. Okay, so each one has one vote. So we have 3 more minutes. Three more minutes to vote. So throw the dice. Unfortunately, I don't own dice. Unfortunately, I don't have dice. So yes. Yeah, so we have what are we voting on? Oh, wait a minute. It's Joe. It's Joe is here and Jake is here. You know what that means.
I don't know who it is, but it probably is for Hogwarts guys. I asked my friend Joe, I asked my friend Jake. They said it was for Hogwarts guys.
Oh my goodness, it's like the band is back together again. Okay, friend, we're voting on which one of these pieces do you guys want me to work on? Do you guys want me to work on? So far, everything comic, Mets, Red Sonja. So which one do you want to see? So 2 more minutes to vote. Yes, Jake, it is absolutely official. We're absolutely official. Okay, so Fern says Mets. Mets has 2. Mets has 2. 2 more minutes. Mets has 2. So Red Sonja and Comic Page has 1. Oh, Joe, Red Sonja. So now it's Mets, Mr. Met, and Red Sonja is tied. Comic Page only has 1, but Mets and Red Sonja have 2 each. 2 each. So you know what? Okay, whoever's the last one breaks it. So whoever's the last one. So yeah, so because I figured so whichever comes first, whoever the next vote, or we hit come on, 1 more minute. Vote with your heart. Vote with your heart. So, but hey, Joy, like I swear to God, everybody, I mean, look, I guess, so what you've been up to, everybody's been busy. You and Jake have been like hiding, you know? Oh my goodness. So, okay, so 2 for Red Sonja, 2 for Mets, 1 for Comic Page. Who's the last vote? Who's going to do the deciding vote? Come on. Somebody has to. Somebody, come on. Blue and orange. There we go. We have 1 more. Lorraine votes for breaks the tie. Mr. Met wins. So yeah, so I'm going to be, so okay, so we're going to put the Comic Page away. So there we go. So Mr. Met wins. Right. That's sorry, Jake. That's how the voting goes. This is how democracy is supposed to work. Oh my goodness. So Mr. Met wins. So here we go. Now the only thing though, let's see. Oh, Joe says I'm recovering. Oh, right. Lorraine says they deserve some love since they haven't won since 1987. And Joe says I'm recovering from lack of sales at C2E2. All right, and 100% convinced that AI can't replace me or any traditional artist. It's true. It's true. It's true. Oh, hey, Lou. Hello. Hello, Lou. Welcome. No, yeah, you know what? It's like, you know what? I really like, it's not that I stopped caring about AI, but I think in the end, it's like, you know what? It's like they can try all they want. And it's like, you know what? It's like it really is not going to replace the real thing. It is not. It is absolutely not. And the fact that they have to fake most of their um demos, it just goes to show you that the technology is not what they're selling, is not what they're actually selling. And you know um oh, there you go. It's not about the money, Spider-Man. It's all about the Mets, baby. Let's go Mets. Let's go Mets. Oh goodness. So the funniest thing about this piece, though, one, Mr. Met was incredibly hard to draw. I mean, the guy has a baseball for a head, and I don't understand why he was so difficult to draw. And two, it's like, I have to take into consideration that as much as I like having the Mets logo there, I might not be able to use it. I'm not sure if Major League Baseball is as, I don't know, is as litigation crazy as Nintendo is. But technically, you know, the logo is trademarked, so I might not be able to use it. So it's going to look more like this. But because I don't want to like get into trouble with anything, because like, because technically it is a trademarked logo. So I don't know. It's like we'll see. We'll see how we'll see how that works out. I'll see if anybody else has done baseball fan art and see if they've used the logo. Just erase the TM and you should be fine. No, Your Honor, I didn't use the trademark version. Yeah, maybe if I do like something if I use like a similar font that's not the exact font, maybe that would be maybe that would count, because I really do like the logo being there. But okay, so so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put what is this? Okay, I'm going to put everybody into a folder here. Right, because then that way I can turn everybody blue. So oh yeah, and that was my Mr. Met reference that I was using. I was using this guy here, and it's like, really, I don't understand why he's so difficult to draw. So let me put him in the folder. Okay. So all right, so let me just save this. And yeah. So here we go. So okay, Charles, I'll see you later. This is the colors, the team colors are going to play a really important part in this when I color it, because that has to be just as recognizable. Like, it has to be recognizable even without the Mets logo, just in case. Like I said, I'd rather use it. I like I said, I might fake something, so they can't say I'm using the exact logo. I mean, there's probably plenty of fonts that I could use that look kind of similar to that, but is not exactly. Because they have a trademark on the very specific logo, but not like, I could spell out the word Mets, and and that's not the logo. So so yeah, so let's see. So let's just get started here. Let me just set myself up. Oh oh my goodness. Yeah, you know what? Look, you'd be surprised. Yeah, no. It's like I made a joke once that legalese, like business language and legal language, is like talking to Faye, or like talking to a genie, where it's like they use like it's all about semantics, and it's like that's where they get you. And it's like, and I think with trademark law, that's kind of how it works. Like if it's not exact, like if you're talking about a registered logo, um, if it's not like if it's just a font that's similar but not the same, they can't say it's a logo or their logo. Yeah. Or you could be a fae, or you could be fae, or a genie. So, oh, hold on. So let me bring in my music. Hold on. Let's see. Where's my music? So let me just put that there. Okay, so there we go. So as always, yeah, because even Mr. Met is not drawn the same. It's right, exactly. It's a urinal, Your Honor. Let's see. Let's see. I've been messing around Dream Up on the. Oh, that's the AI on DeviantArt. Let's just say that AI can't handle proportion, size, and scale. This is in addition to all the other anatomical issues. So pretty much AI is useless. you know, but yeah, it's like, yeah, really, it's like it's just easier to draw. It really is. It's just easier to draw shit out. Um. So let's see. So okay. Right, because also it's like what I want to do with this print is I want to make like a corresponding sticker where I cut out like EGORAVEN in the Mets colors, and then using the Mets fonts just have like "Let's Go" at the bottom. So that's way it's like inspired by, but it's not exact. But like I said, I don't know if Major League Baseball is kind of like have the same it's like Joe, she lived long enough to see it. She's immortal, remember? So this was so modern, so modern EGORAVEN would know about baseball, you know. So yeah, so I wouldn't let's see. Melissa says maybe we should generate only messed up AI images. Well, that's Glaze. Oh, and just to remind everybody, Glaze did update their they updated their program because there has been a crack. There was there's a new AI scraper that's able to read glazed images, so they updated their the programming for Glaze and Nightshade to combat that. And they're recommending that if you use previous versions, like OpenAI still can't, like, and all the earlier AIs can't read the Glaze as is, but there's a new one that just came out that they said this one can circumvent Glaze. So they recommend that you download the new version and you reglaze your stuff if it's that if that's or, if that's like an issue. So I mean, because that's what I did. It's like, well, I didn't reglaze everything, but I did download the new version of glaze. I don't know, the one that I download, it has both glaze and nightshade. So yeah, so technically, so remember, it's like in this day and age, we may not be able to fight AI directly, but we can piss on the steps. We can piss in their water. So that's what we're doing. Um oh. Oh yeah, so part of the thing that I've been doing with like trying to figure out how to like update my store with all this updated inventory. So I'm just clearing out a lot of stuff. Like I said, that's the reason why I'm doing those packs with the buttons, like pretty much my leftover stuff. Um I did buy a couple of like different sizes of bags so I can kind of like pack up the last of my stickers that I have left, and then just have everything like the old stuff available as packs only, and then like start to move into the new stuff, which is prints. I prints, 4x6 prints, and like corresponding stickers. So if you missed the show on uh Monday, right, I showed off some stickers that I was doing for House of Bob. So it's going to be like the print and a sticker set. And I was thinking of doing that for these as well, where it's like instead of just selling a print, they also come with a sticker that matches the print. I have seen some artists in the book scene doing that. So, because I wasn't sure if anybody did that. So, but it seems like it's actually a lot more common than I think. There's also like another website that I've been following, which because of the tariffs, they're going to be discontinuing a lot of their products. But they have the print, they have like a print and a bookmark and a keychain, like a keychain set. Although with me it's going to be like a print and a sticker set. And and it's like, and everything kind of matches. So so I've been kind of like working on those, the idea for those as well. Just trying to yeah, like how am I going to like redo my online store? Because of the tariffs, of course, my idea of like getting keychains and standees, that's out the window. But there's still plenty that I could do using manufacturers in the United States. That's not going to break the bank for me. So that's so that's where I'm kind of like at right now. Joe is saying, why am I picturing EGORAVEN throwing out the first pitch at a Mets game and the catcher gets knocked out? I could see her like kind of like underestimating her throw. She does. No, you see, the thing is though, is like it's like, no, she would have knocked Daniel out too. There's actually a scene that didn't make it into the story, even the novelization, during her training montage, because it's like EGORAVEN has this unusual strength, and she's strong. She's as strong as a small pony. No, it's like I haven't really decided like how strong she would be, but she is. Kind of like like she probably could lift a horse if she wanted to. But like sometimes it's like she has to. So what base is EGORAVEN? Zero, Jake. Zero. Her and Mr. Met are just friends. Jake. Oh my goodness. But it's like I know I've had it's like, look, I know I have made EGORAVEN canonically frisky. It's too late, Jake. But you would. But the thing is, though, Loki's always jealous. Loki would be always jealous, but he would be the last one to talk. Yeah, what was I saying? I was talking about, what was I talking about? Oh, Small Pony. Yes, Small Pony. So there's this scene that didn't make it into the novelization. I had originally wanted to put it in, but then it's like, that it's a little too much going on in the training montage, where it's like where Johar. Actually, you know what's funny? Because with like, I always pronounced Johar's name Johar, right? But I saw a video of a fan who was unboxing an EGORAVEN campaign a while ago, and she got the Johar trading card, and hey Joseph, hey, and she pronounced it Johar, and I stopped. Because it's like, holy shit, that's exactly how his name would have been pronounced, is Johar, not Johar. But, so it's like, yeah, it's right. It's like, Johar is correct. But, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So there's this, so of course there's the training montage in the novelization, right? That's expanded on, that you don't get in the comic, because I'm not going to spend an entire issue on a training montage. But in the novelization, I can spend a little bit more time on that. So, you people are nuts. Right. So there was this scene. And then he drags Daniel into the training, right? So it's like I wouldn't be sure, like I wasn't sure. It's like it would be like I don't know if it's like, okay, like maybe he would be training her to like grapple fighting or something, right? Like some kind of grappling, right? And it's like, okay, it's like, so the scene is like Yeah. Well, I know, Jake. I know. I should know better, especially since I'm the one that encourages this bullshit. So so it's like, okay, it's like, so I need you. It's like I need you two to start sparring. It's like EGORAVEN has to learn how to grapple properly, right? And and the thing is, though, it's like, when EGORAVEN trained with the elves, they always made sure that she always held back, because it's like, no, it's like, we're not, it's kind of like a whole thing, where it's like, no, we're not allowing you to, to kind of like be at your full potential kind of thing, right? So Johar and the group, they don't really kind of like understand the extent of what she can do. So so the scene kind of went that like Ego, so it's like she has to grapple with Daniel, right? And then it's like, Johar's a little annoyed because he could tell that she's holding back. And it's like, no, you need to actually spar. I need you actually sparring, right? And, and she goes like, oh, but I don't want to hurt him, And they don't understand what she's talking about. And it's like, nah, it's like, you're not going to hurt anybody. Just, come on. It's like, we're grown men. We can handle you. Right. And it's like, EGORAVEN goes, oh, okay. It's like, well, because you insist. And then she pulls it like, so she kicks Daniel, and she pulls a Charlie Brown. Like he just goes full Charlie Brown. Feet up in the air and everything, right? Everyone completely underestimates, what she's, and of course it's like, so he got his ass totally like whipped with one kick, so of course, like, she's all apologetic and like she didn't mean to do it, it's like, oh, but and then it's like, it's kind of like that, but it just became like too much. Like it was just like it was just too much. So I had to come up with something else to kind of like show her strength, but without being like a little over the top with it, So no, she'd knock him the fuck out. So no, she would knock Daniel out. Yeah. So that, long story short. Long story short. No, that the grappling side of the comic is a medieval unicorn Viking slut. Or issue 13. Or, but yes, Melissa. Yes. Yeah, but yeah, yeah, no. The grappling side comic for House of Bob. No, that's actually issue 13. So, so yeah, so the scene was just like a little too much. So I decided to scrap that. But what's funny, but that's what writing the novelization does. It's like it, what am I doing here? It really does, doing the novelization really made me think, like, just because a scene like sounds cool in your head, doesn't mean it really works, so So that was just kind of like an interesting experiment, but that's just prose in general. um I was like, what the hell is with this music? What is it? That's not what I wanted. What is that? Okay, there we go. It's like, yeah, I hated when epidemics sound kind of like how did that song ended up in in the bossa nova section? It doesn't sound anything like that. So let's see. Yeah, but doing the novel, yeah, so I've been working on the novelization as the issues are going along. I'm just waiting for Jaden to finish an illustration that she's working on now for chapter 9, so I can put that chapter together. Um and maybe I haven't decided whether I'm going to offer it up on this campaign or wait until issue 11, because then I can get the images from her for chapter 10 and 11, and then it's a bossa no. you know um so it's like bossa no. um so the novelization, because it's like what I was thinking is if I can get it up to if I can get the chapter covers for 10 and 11, then on the 11 campaign I can offer up the EPUB, like the Kindle versions of all the chapters up until 11 as a level, either as a level or as an add-on. I think maybe as an add-on might be better. So people would be able to read the novelization along with the comic at the same time. Yes. Oh, damn. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay. Hold on. Does that look right? Yeah. Because it's like sometimes I think that well, it's not that I like there's some points where I wish that I had thought about doing the novelization when I was working on the first issue, because I think I would have like set up the first issue a little bit differently, but that's like hindsight being 2020. So, you know, I'm not going to worry about that. You know, like I'm just, you know, just concerned about, I hate doing that. Yeah, I'm just glad that the novelization gives me the opportunity to like put in all these scenes that that they just wouldn't have made it into the comic. So Melissa has to go deep clean. Melissa has to go deep clean her carpet. Everybody wish her luck. Like I've done that with my sofas and stuff. Yeah, and it's not fun. It's not fun. But good luck. Everybody wish everybody wish Melissa luck to deep clean her carpets. You know, so you know, yeah, and it's just like, but what's funny is that like even oh no, that's too much. That even in the novelization, you know, there's scenes that still don't make it. You know, in the end, it's like there's scenes like the one that I just talked about. It's like, there's scenes that just don't make it regardless. It like it doesn't fit in like it's a funny scene or it's a cute scene or something like that, but it doesn't fit in anywhere. So it just ends up kind of like this little thought that's like just doesn't go anywhere. That's wrong. Okay, here. All right, maybe I just do it from here. You know, so of course, you know, but of course, the question that I keep asking myself while writing the novelization is, you know, if you know, like that's something that people are actually going to read. You know, like if you read a comic, you know, is a novelization something that is going to interest people who read the comic, or is it just going to be one of those things where the people who read comics and read novels really are just two different things? Let's see. Okay, so it goes here. Okay. You know, but it's going to be a while before it's going to be a while before I get that novelization finished anyway. So I'll worry about it then. I'll worry about the the specifics about it then. You know, and in the end, I think that the novelization is technically my hobby while I'm working on EGORAVEN. The comic, that it's just like just writing it is just something that I do just to kind of like unwind. Because it's like, even though eventually it will end up on Kickstarter, I mean, I am so not writing this to market. I am so not writing this in a way like to appeal to, certain demographics or anything. It's just like, look, this is just the novelization of the comic. That's just what it is. Shouldn't the question be more about, do I have a rabid enough readers that would help others turn on to the novelization? Well, that's true too. Yeah, my whole experience is, it's funny you mentioned that. My whole experience with with the Tenchi campaign, because it's like, as far as I know, most of the money that the Tenchi campaign raised was all word of mouth so far. Like, I don't think that they've like bought Facebook ads or anything yet. And it was, really interesting to see like how important word of mouth is. There was an interview that I saw with the guy who coined the whole 1,000 true fans theory. I forgot his name. But what he was saying was essentially that is like, as a creator, it's not your job to market. That's what your fans are for. Your fans are supposed to sell your work for you. And it's, and it's just kind of funny to kind of like hear somebody just say it like that. But that's kind of like the point of his theory, that if you have a very like rabid / loyal fan base, they're going to do the work for you, because they're going to be your evangelists for your product, for what you do, for you. And of course the example, and the example he gave, which is probably a little over the top. He goes, when was the last time you saw an ad for Rolls-Royce? And the whole point is that you don't. Rolls-Royce, in the entirety of their existence, has never advertised their product, right? And he goes, do you know where most people buy Rolls-Royces? And and he goes, air shows. They don't. I don't think I've ever seen I don't think I've ever seen a Rolls-Royce dealership. Like I don't think there is such a thing. I think that like Rolls-Royce, like they sell directly to their consumers in a very specific way, and it's all word of mouth. Also, small fact, Rolls-Royces, it's like, it made sense in the end when the guy said that Rolls-Royce sells their cars at air shows, because if you didn't know, Rolls-Royce, I think, before they started doing cars, they started making airplane parts. So, because it's like, I remember, my father used to be in import-export, and I very distinctly remember a huge part of his job was importing Rolls-Royce engines for airplanes. So so in the end, when they said that Rolls-Royce cars are sold predominantly at air shows, it made sense to me. But the whole point of his example was that Rolls-Royce doesn't advertise; it's word of mouth, right? And watching the Tenchi campaign, kind kind of really brought that home is that, you know, if you have a big enough fan base, you really don't have to do anything. Jake says, my observation, I think, with EGORAVEN, where it planned ahead as a media franchise or media mix, things at the pre-planned stage would be vastly different. True. Yeah, because I just never thought of it like that. You know, and for that, it wouldn't be what it is like now. What I mean to say is don't stress over it. No, absolutely. You see, I don't think I'm stressing over it as much as I'm just fussing over details. You know, where it's like, oh, why does this happen? You know, why does that happen? Why did you know, doing this resulted in that, you know, or it's like this and that, and it's like, and also it's stupid for me to compare EGORAVEN to Tenchi. Although it is a mind fuck, it's ridiculous for me to compare the two. I mean, Tenchi is Tenchi. It's based on an anime. It has actual manga, you know? So it's like, and movies and OAVs and shit, you know? So it's like, it has there's a completely different machine going on behind Tenchi than I ever would have planned for EGORAVEN. You know, EGORAVEN, you're in conflict with your past self. No, absolutely. Always. You know, you know, and the thing is that I've never been one of these creators that came out the gate going, oh yeah, I got the next best thing. Maybe for a split second, I thought that, but I was a fucking child when I thought that. You know, I was, you know, no, it's fine. No, that's Jake. We're good. Yeah. I mean, because we are talking casually, so it's true. You know, so it's like, but you know, it's like, yeah, when I kind of thought like, oh, I'm gonna be the next big thing, I was literally a child when I thought that. You know, being an adult and thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna be the next big thing, it's like that's childish. And it's like, and of course it's like, you know, so I do these books just like going, okay, no, not at all, Jake. I didn't even take it like that. You're fine. Don't worry. It's like, you know, yeah, that's fine, Jake. That's what it is. It's like we're good. It's like I know, you know, what you're getting at, you know. And you know, and the funny thing is that you know, there is honestly, it's like I don't think there's anybody who created something that actually blew up who predicted the shit was going to blow up. Like, I know that Eastman and Laird are constantly being held, you know, to that, oh, look at what happened to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it's like, yeah, okay, but even Eastman and Laird didn't think that they were going to have a zeitgeist-changing book. You know, they were just two guys fucking around, doing a Daredevil parody just to put out. And nobody could have predicted that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would end up the phenomenon that it was, that it ended up, right? But there are these people who think that they can predict that on their own stuff. And it's like, no, you're being ridiculous. You're being childish. You know, it's like they're building, they're living this fantasy in their head that has nothing to do with what they're actually doing. And, you know, and it's like, and I think that kind of like gets in the way. Joe says, I only thought that once. That was after I talked to the co-founder of Comixology. After Amazonia was accepted to be distributed by them, it was foolish. It's like, you know, it's like, that's youth. That's youth for you. You know, especially when we feel like we're getting validation. You know what it is? It's my first project we love. It's like getting your first project we love on Kickstarter, right? When I got that first one, I was over the moon. I was like, "Oh, someone at Kickstarter actually liked my stuff. They're looking at my stuff and that they really like it." Until I realized that my campaigns didn't do any differently with Project We Love than it did without Project We Love. And I don't think I've gotten Project We Love for a couple of issues. And you see, and that's also the thing too, the fact that realizing that Project We Love is so erratic. Like, if I really did have a Project We Love, then how come I don't get it for every issue? Right? But that's not the case. It's like I think I got it like out of 10 issues, I think I've probably 10 issues, 2 trade paperbacks, and 3 specials. No, 2 specials. No, one special with 3 books. That I think I've only gotten Project We Love like 4 or 5 times. So let's see. Jake says, if they picture that their stuff will pop off by loose comparison, they're not reading to or in tune with the culture and the now. But the thing is, though, I don't think that even if they were in tune, that you can really predict what's going to be popular or not popular. Especially, I mean, unless you're specifically formulating something for a market. And at the same time, is that what you're making? We're not making gray slop, Lou says, my friend was the lead singer for a serious rock band and also a fun, jokey side project band. The side project band got signed. Right. It's kind of like, like Tina Turner hated What's Love Got to Do with It. She hated that song because she thought it was like really trite and it did nothing for her, right? But that's the song that put her on the map. I mean, maybe you could say that the producer that told her to do the song, you have to do this song, like maybe they knew something, but that was a chance, that I think both of them were taking. And I think like every singer has that, it's like I hear more often than not singers say that the song that put them on the map was the song that they had no clue was going to be the one that was going to resonate somehow. Right. And then there's the whole thing where it's like the song that they thought was going to be a hit just completely flops. Right. It's so yeah, so it's like, so in the end, it's like it's not about predicting really, but being informed. Well, that's also true too. You can sway probabilities by tapping into these elements and trends, interests and such, but if they aren't components to tell or service the story, mainly its relevancy is surface level. That's a good point, Jake, because I think that a lot of people get wrapped up in the superficiality of trends than actually why a trend is popular. Like, as much as I want to talk about AI, the whole thing with the Studio Ghibli filter, right? It's like, the one thing that other artists were really criticizing the filter for, but this is just AI in general, is how it took Miyazaki's work, Studio Ghibli work, and then pretty much stripped it of everything that made people love about their work and just stripped it down to this superficial style, you know, where it's like, oh, this is a studio, make yourself look like Studio Ghibli, but like the heart of what makes Studio Ghibli works is not a consideration, right? So it's a very superficial, and I, you know, and of course it's like, you know, but also my whole, I'm kind of running with the conspiracy theory that OpenAI did that on purpose because artists as a whole had made it a point not to talk about AI, so nobody was you know, and it's like, you know, and they're attention whores in the end, you know. So how do you get, you know, and I think that they're choosing Studio Ghibli as their filter update was a very deliberate decision because they knew that would trigger artists to talk about it. It would, if they had done a Disney filter, I don't think anybody would have cared, and it actually might have risked an actual lawsuit from Disney. So yes, Jake, they wanted the skin, not the soul, right? And I think that the mistake that a lot of people, that a lot of creators that I see when they're kind of like trying to chase trends is that they forget the soul of the trend. You know, not, it's like they're only looking at it, you know, as in a superficial, oh, it's just this and this, right? There's this guy that I'm reading who's oh, it's great outrage marketing. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It's the first thing I heard when I logged back. Yeah. It's that, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what that whole thing was. It was outrage marketing. You know, and I think in the end it's probably for the best that Studio Ghibli did not answer anything to that. Like, as far as I know, there has been nothing mentioned by the studio over this, and I think that that's probably for the best because that would have just added fuel to the fire, you know. And it's just, sometimes it's just best to let shit die on their own, you know. You know, and not talk about it, not mention it, you know. And I really do think, you know, yeah, when attention, yeah, because it's like when attention's the current currency, the only way to kill it is to ignore it, you know. Oh, they've allegedly sent cease and desists. Well, you know, if that's that, in the end, that's the correct answer. That's the only answer they need to give. So what else? Right. So there's this guy that we follow that that he's been tallying up the numbers on Kickstarter campaigns and like how many not safe for work campaigns are run on Kickstarter. And pretty much he does it because he believes that not safe for work campaigns should have their own category on Kickstarter. I mean, we're talking about like in 5 months, 16%, like not safe for work campaigns made up 16%, 16% of comics Kickstarter, and it makes up 50% of the money. So, you know, so his whole thing is trying to get a separate category for the not safe for work stuff. Me personally, I think that there should just be a more robust tagging system on Kickstarter, so that, you know, I don't have to see any campaigns I'm not interested in, not just not safe for work, right? But you know, because okay, so you know, there's always, you know, there's been this belief, well, it's not a belief, that unless you're doing not safe for work stuff on Kickstarter, you're not going to make money on Kickstarter. However, the thing is that if you look at it superficially, it may look like that, you know. Yeah. You know, so it's like it may look like, oh, just do a TNA book and you'll make bank on Kickstarter, but that's not the case, and that's not what this guy's data is showing. Because even among that 16% that's making the 50% on Kickstarter, only a very small percentage of that is making a bulk of the money. You know, very particular campaigns. And, you know, these are people, you know, the people, you know, it's like, well, Polito's not on Kickstarter anymore. So he's not their kicking, you know, their scapegoat anymore. So, you know, you're talking about Dan Mendoza, you're talking about Dan no, Dan Shin is someone else. There's Dan Mendoza, Pat Shand, you know, it's like, and there's some other creators, like very, you know, where they're not safe for work projects are always making bank. Well, they're the guys making the 50% of that 50%, if not more. And everyone else is just fighting for scraps. You know, and it's like, you know, and it's like, and you have these people who think, oh, I'll just put out a not safe for work book and I'll make money. And then it's like they go, oh, I don't get it. Why didn't I thought this was supposed to be a no-brainer. And it's like, no, there is a brain involved here. You know, it's like, it's not just about the superficiality of those not safe for work books. You know, one, we're talking about established IPs that took years, decades even to build. You know, you have, you know, these creators also have a reputation for creating entertaining books to read, even if they are not safe for work. You know, so there's two heads working but not safe, right? You see, and this is the thing, it's like if you're doing it right, you catch both, you catch them both. You see, that's the thing. And I think that when people think superficially about the category, they're only using one and then wonder why it's not making them the six figures they think they're entitled to. Joe says they're the ones who have loyal, rabid, sometimes blind fans to do so. I stopped crowdfunding this year because I don't have fans like that. Well, you know, I mean, it's like, look, for the rest of us mere mortals, you know, yeah, we have to build that. Like, you know, and even then when we think we're building it, it's like it's not working the way we think. So I had to move my mailing list, right? Because MailChimp was going to raise their prices again, and I got fed up with them because I don't like MailChimp. Also, I think too that MailChimp, because it's so ubiquitous, it automatically gets flagged as spam in the Google system. So, you know, so it's like they wanted to raise their prices on me for a product that doesn't work. So I had to move my my mailing list. So what I did was I took my entire mailing list and I started and I categorized them, you know, by EGORAVEN, by Oswald, by Tall Tales, you know, so that I could cater. So I'm using a platform called Kit now, KIT. Oh, Jake says, watch me build my Guna. Ooh, I'm a Goonopolis. Ooh, I'd like a Goonopolis. And I solemnly swear to night thee with exposure. Oh my God, I love that word, a Goonopolis. When I do Viking Slut 2, part 2, definitely. so what I realized by doing that, by really paying attention to how many people are on my mailing list, right? So this is what I found out. So, oh, that's wrong. Let's see, 6. So EGORAVEN has 600 individual backers. If I count all my campaigns and take out all the regulars and just go by Goonopolis is located north of Edgewick. And just take out all my regulars and just list everybody by individual email. EGORAVEN has 600 individual backers. But with every campaign, I average between 130 and 150 backers. So even though I have almost 1,000 individual backers, I mean, look, 600 is more than half, so I'm rounding it up. I only get like 10%, if even, pledging to my campaign. You know, every time I release a book. You know, and it's kind of crazy to think about it. It's kind of crazy to think about it. You know, because it's like, you know, again, it's like, it's not that I'm that worried about it, you know, going back to the whole, you know, Jake saying, don't worry about it. You know, it's not that. Granted, there were days I was obsessing on this, but in the end, it's like, I didn't know what to obsess on, because it's like, okay, I know I have 600 people who bought EGORAVEN that I've sold. It's interesting to think of that I sold 600 copies of EGORAVEN, of various issues of EGORAVEN, right? You know, but for some reason or another, they're not buying at the same time. And there's and there just comes a point where it's like, okay, that's just what it is. Because I wouldn't even know how to begin to analyze the why. And in the end, like, what is it really going to get me anyway? Right? Fussing about it. Because it's like, people have, like, the 800 people who are not pledging regularly, right? They probably have 800 reasons as to why they're not pledging all at the same time. So why worry about it? You know? You know, it's like there's nothing, you know, I can't help people with the fact that they have shit going on that they'd rather prioritize than backing my campaigns. So, you know, again, why worry, right? What, me worry? You know? Oh my God. You're crazy in there. So is Steven Sploogberg the mayor of Goonopolis? Oh my God. Oh my God. Can't leave you guys alone for a second. Oh my God. Where were we? So I don't know. So I guess in the end, it does boil down to what Jake said. Don't worry about it, because all we're doing is just driving ourselves crazy, and there's no need to. You know, yeah, Mad Magazine got mad money to defend Alfred E. Newman. Yeah, which is ironic for a parody, for a parody magazine, right? Oh, oh my god, it just gets worse, Jake. It just gets worse. Oh my goodness. But but yeah, so in the end, the only thing that I could really like concentrate on is just like figuring out like what merch I can update my store with, and just kind of like figure out how to get attention on that. You know, it's like just doing the prints, um, you know, the stickers, and then just kind of like seeing from there, you know, what to do with that. I mean, honestly, it's like I'm kind of hoping I do get into New York Comic Con. Let's see, where was Jake during Saturday during C2E2 to tell me don't worry and not feel like a failure? Oh yeah, he was forming Goonopolis. Look, he had priorities. He had priorities. Oh my goodness. So was C2E2 really that bad? I mean, is there like a particular reason that you were seeing like you know, because it's like I really didn't pay attention much to people's posting, you know, and it's like, you know, because it's like, you know, if the people that I mostly saw post about C2E2 were people selling like Marvel sketch covers, so I'm not really going to pay attention to their experience. You know, well, I was like, oh, of course you did well, you know. But it's like, was this like an overall experience with indie stuff there? Joe? You know, because, well, but like I said, you know, I really am kind of hoping I do get into Anime NYC just so that I can start, I can like test out these products and my theories. You know, because the one thing that I really do want to try at Anime NYC is if whether the digest size trade paperbacks, the manga size trade paperbacks will sell books more than just offering up like regular comic size trade paperbacks, that whether like a size formatting, whether size formatting will make a difference to what I offer. So just make sure to clean up after yourself, Jake. You know, and I would like to see if, you know, like maybe the like offering up the prints and the sticker sets would make some kind of like it would do something, you know, like what exactly is the trend, you know, especially now that, you know, a lot of creators are not going to be able to get, you know, all the fancy merchandising done, you know, because of the tariffs. There was this one woman, she posted a reel saying that her tariff bill had jumped from $9,000 to $195,000. between shipments. It's like, oh my God. Let's see. C2E2, as far as attendance, is great, but stuff was all over the place. Not good when you're not around other like products. People got overwhelmed when they first go in and never want to commit to buy. Yeah, that's a problem with large conventions. Is the fact that they are overwhelming. You know, and I think that also, like, I know we talked about it before, where the cost of going to a convention is also daunting as well. You know, when you know, like for Anime NYC, right? If I had just wanted to go as a fan, it would cost me over $200 to get me and Jose in. And it's like, you know what? It really does make me think, what is Anime NYC going to have that I can't buy for less expensive? You know, less expensively someplace else. You know, I could just go to Kinokuniya, take that money and spend $200 at Kinokuniya. You know, I could just take that money and buy manga online. You know, I could just go to Barnes and Noble and buy manga there. Like, you know, it's like, you know, you really start to balance that, you know? And I'm pretty sure like C2E2 is the same thing. It's like, I mean, there is really something to say about a convention literally being family friendly, in the sense that it's very accessible for families to go to. You know, really, it's like, what good is a convention charging $200? Like New York Comic Con, like the weekend ticket is $200. Yeah, you're spending $100 before you can even shop. You know? You know, so yeah, and then it's like I get slightly more convinced by time that conventions are for people with dumb money. I unfortunately, I kind of think it's more convention. The more conventions get owned by corporations, the more these companies are just going to try to squeeze out as much money as they can from both ends, from both the retailers and the creators who buy tables, and from the door. I mean, it's like, in the past, it used to be the convention would make their you know, they would charge, you know, kind of like make their money on the tables and then charge a nominal fee at the front door, and that would be their profit. Like, they would have made even, they would have broken even on the tables. And then the front fee, the front door fee, would be extra, right? But now they want to make profit on both ends. You know, and I think that that's kind of like the bigger, I think really that's the moral of the story. You know, corporations ruin everything. Large corporations ruin everything. Although unfortunately, small conventions are the same way too. Like, there's a small convention that they hold like every couple of months here, that it's freaking $300 just to get a table. And it's like, what the fuck? Why is your table $300, right? And then, like, we weren't able to go this weekend, but there was a show. It was called the Pin and Patch Festival, or the Pin and Patch Con, where it's literally just that, pins and patches. And they also like specialized in collectible sneakers and urban clothing, collectible urban clothing, that type of thing. And they were just charging, like, if you bought the tickets online, they were $5. a person. But if you bought at the door, it was $10 a person. And if it wasn't for the fact that Jose had to do a live stream, we would have gone, because Jose was like really curious as to how is it they're able to charge $5 for tickets? How is it that even at the door that they were charging $10 per ticket? Right? How much do tables at this thing go for? You know, are they still charging $300 a table? I mean, it's like, you know, how much do they rent the space and this, that, and the other thing? Like why is it that a pin and patch convention was significantly less expensive than, like, say, going to Mocha, where it's like Mocha is like $40 at the door per person and tables are $500 each? You know, and they're also, and Mocha is supposed to be this indie, whatever they are now, because they're not comics anymore. You know, and, you know, and it's just like, you know, yeah. So it's like when a convention is like that, it's like, it creates a weird ecosystem, you know, that it's, you know, and then it's like, yeah, it's like, it's very expensive to get in. And, you know, it's bad enough that people aren't curious about art they're not familiar with. Right. And it's like, and they only stick with what they know. You know, so it's like, so who's making money at these conventions? People selling Spider-Man sketch covers or something, you know, whatever the fuck, you know? They're selling, you know, and also, you know, not for nothing. That's something that I'm going to start offering up on my store too. I had a stack. I found a whole stack of original art bookmarks that I had done back in the day, like in 2012. And I still had the originals for them. And they're all fan art bookmarks. So what I did was I fixed them up, and I have like these bookmark sleeves, and I made them look really, really nice. And they're all one of a kind bookmarks, fan art bookmarks that I'm going to be offering up on my website. I'm going to bring to conventions. I bought some bags, and I'm going to like make them, you know, brand them up so that they look nice and whatnot. And I'm going to be offering those, but I'm only going to be doing fan art as original pieces. I'm not doing prints of fan art anymore. I did that already. Didn't like it. Original artwork I can tolerate because they're one and done. Joe says small show can be as bad depending on if it's a pro local talent and vendors. If you are not a guest, the crowd they curate wouldn't support unless you worked on something they know. Yeah, well, that's part of the audience not being curious anymore. Let's see. Jake was saying cons then sound in long term a logistics nightmare the more corporate it gets to be in the black. Yeah, it's kind of it's almost like, you know, whenever, you know, like one of these hedge funds buys up a company and then like loots it for parts. Right. And then they try, you know, and then like saddle the shit with debt, so much debt that the company has to go bankrupt, but they're still making their money. You know, and it's kind of similar to that, where it's like, you know, these corporations buy up conventions, right? And then it's like they jack up all the prices because they can't. Oh, now they have to make up all this money back. You know, they have to make up the money that they spent buying the thing, while at the same time destroying what made the thing that they bought the thing that they bought. Oh yeah, it's like Daphne broke out the laminator. Yeah, because ever since the tariffs, that video of mine on how to make homemade bookmarks, that video popped after the whole tariffs thing. It's like everybody's going back to like I was hearing that too, where people are like going, oh, I'm you know, everyone's digging out their laminators and, you know, and it's like they're button makers, you know, to do that shit themselves. Lou says, when I used to do cons, I began to stay away from the ones with the high celebrity count. There wasn't any money for artists due to VIP packages costing $500 to $1,000. No, we've seen it in person. There is nothing like having a guy in front of you fuss over the price of a $2 comic when he's wearing a $700 VIP badge. You know, yes, Jake. Buying up into a company now, that's called a long-term game of deleting competition with performing legal robbery. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, but it's like, look, simultaneously, like I said, I hope I get into Anime NYC so that I can use it as a testing ground for some of the things that that I'm planning. You know, and the thing is, just because it won't work at a convention doesn't mean I won't still do it. It's just that sometimes you need to have a little bit of real world interaction to kind of like, I don't know, help test it out. But I don't know. I mean, oh, I forgot that part. There we go. No, that does not look right. Okay, probably because it's not. All right, that's okay. Okay. Oh, let me do that. Okay. I mean, I know that we're running a little bit long, but you know what? I kind of just feel like finishing her up with the inking. Just to say we at least got something finished on the show. So I'm just gonna like just finish her up, and then we'll just call it an end right now. So okay, hold on. Let me just see something. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. Also, I have to remember to keep her on a separate layer because she's the one that I'm going to take and make into a separate sticker. That goes with the print. Yeah, so I want to make sure that I'm always keeping that in mind now. Because that was also another thing that I kind of had a thought that that maybe like instead of like offering up stickers individually, like make it part of a set so they get both the print and the sticker, because then that way I don't have to deal with those products individually. You know, it's kind of like that whole thing. Oh, VNet fad. Do you do furry cons? Probably do better than anime cons. I agree. Honestly. I do have that. Yeah, I haven't done furry conventions since I think like 1999, 2000. I think I tried to do one in 2015, but that didn't work out very well. But that was like more personal reasons than anything else. Um, you know, because it's like, honestly, after I restarted posting back onto my Fur Affinity account and like really started like getting like figuring out more how to do these prints and the House of Bob prints and the alpha boyfriends, the wolf guy prints. The more I started doing those things, the more it's like, you know, I probably really should think seriously about going back to furry conventions. The closest one to me right now is Anthrocon in Philadelphia. But I haven't committed to anything yet concerning that. But yeah, you're correct though. You're absolutely correct. That I really do think that if I were to go back to furry conventions, I would have better luck there. You know, it's just that like right now conventions really need a lot of planning on my part. So right now I'm trying to keep conventions really close. That's why Anime NYC is you know, on the list. Because also it's like, because I think that I would do better like in terms of if I had the choice between a regular comic convention and an anime convention. Right now I think that I would do better at an anime convention because of the type of book EGORAVEN is than I would do at a regular comic convention. However, we'll see because I'm going to Baltimore later on this year. So, but yeah, no, you are correct though. You are correct. I yeah. I should be I should be going back to furry conventions. Let's see. So where are we here? Okay. Oh, I forgot her tail. Well, so in the end, it wasn't the piece that it wasn't the work that I was expecting to do today, but I think everybody was right though. I'm going to be ending up grinding on issue 11. So why start now? No. Let's see. So yeah, okay. I think that looks good. Oh wait, I forgot here. I can tell here is not complete. Okay, I think, all right, so you know what? So let me do this. Oh, wait, no. See, that's why I have to shut off the sketch layer so I can actually see where I forgot to ink. There we go. Right now, okay, so let me bring her in a bit. Yeah, let me do that. Okay, much better. Okay. Okay. Let me just set up this. Okay. Let's see how this looks. Yep. Okay. So then. All right. So there's a whole other life going on in the chat right now. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so I think we're pretty much done here. Let me just fix something. This doesn't look like. Ah, okay. Let me just get rid of that. Okay. Okay. Oh, there we go. I did that wrong. Okay, that needs to be. Okay. There we go. I think, okay, so I think that's a good start. You know how it is. We never finish anything on this show, but I think that came out good for what we're starting with. Like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink in Mr. Met separately because I want to keep her separate so that I could use her figure as the corresponding sticker for this print. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you. So that's kind of like a weird start to this kind of like sports cosplay print thing. Like I said, it's like I want to do a corresponding one for I mean, I think that's because thank you, Jake. It's like, I'm getting used to, like use inking in Clip Studio. Um, so yeah, well, actually, it's like for the amount of issues that I've cranked out on Clip Studio, it's like I think I'm finally getting a hang of what exactly um it should be looking like. The lines should be looking like, because it takes I don't know, I think the thing that throws me off the most sometimes about inking in Clip Studio is that it's so easy to kind of get wrapped up in really, really fine detail when the final result is that nobody sees it when it's actually printed. So I have to kind of like be careful with that, like not go too thin with the lines, because it's very easy to do that in Clip Studio. Or just digitally in general. So yeah, so just, it's just kind of like getting the hang of it. Um but yeah, yeah, so like I said, for Baltimore Comic-Con, I want to have a corresponding one for the Baltimore Orioles. So Orioles with an L. Not the cookie. Yeah, just think it's funny. In the end, it's like these types of prints I'm doing because I think it's funny, not because I think it's gonna sell. If it sells, it would be nice, but if it's funny, I'm more likely to do them. So yeah, there is a thing to be said about not jumping completely into grinding on issue 11 just yet, because I need to do these pieces to kind of like warm up, and then because once I'm in those trenches, I'm in. So so there we go. So that's yeah. So I'm gonna have to figure out something with that logo. Uh, like I said, I don't want to run afoul of the major baseball of the major baseball league, or whatever they're called. Um, and Yeah. So there you go. So in the end, instead of doing a comic page, we ended up starting another cosplay print. But that's what the chat voted for. So I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. Oh my goodness. So thank you everybody in the chat for keeping me company. Thank you so much to the representative, to the gentleman representative of Goonopolis. Thank you so much. Uh, you've had the floor. Make sure you clean up after yourself after. Oh my goodness. And thank you so much. Thank you so much to my beautiful eyeball people watching from regions beyond. I hope I was able to at least, if you were working, I hope I was able to at least entertain you in the background as much as I could. Um, while you were listening. Sometimes I forget and just kind of like, but then again, that's why I run the music in the background. So you don't have this weird silence, But Jake, it's like, look, you may fade away, but you're always welcome back here. So you know that. So um so yeah, so thank you so much for everybody keeping me company today, and helping me with with deciding to do this piece for today. um yeah, so again, um links are in the chat and the show notes for EGORAVEN 16. I wish EGORAVEN 10 and Tenshimuyu, to check that out. Yeah, and if you want to learn more about me and my artwork and everything else that I do, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites. But I mostly post to Facebook if you're interested in seeing sketches and the finished piece of this piece that we're working on today. So if you want to see what it looks like done, it will be on Facebook. first. So also remember that you can always find me here on YouTube on both my channel at Daphne Lage Art and the Indie Comics Network. So make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notify button so you get notified whenever any of my videos go live. And yeah, and join me again on Friday for the Rage Into the Vlogs show, and pretty much every alternate Wednesday for another edition of this live stream. And then it's like and then we'll see what else we're going to be working on then. Also remember, you can read EGORAVEN, Heir of the First Unicorn, for free. Hold on, where are my things? Here we go. You can read EGORAVEN for free, uploading every day, Monday through Friday. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales. That's TAILSonline.com. And not only can you read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, but you can catch up on the latest story arc, Tears in the Mother, which is also currently uploading Monday through Friday. Also, if you prefer an easier way to read EGORAVEN and Tall Tales, both of my comics can also be found on Webtoon. EGORAVEN updates every Tuesday, and Tall Tales updates every Thursday on Webtoons. Both comics are updating with issue 5 right now on Webtoons, so if you want to check that out. So thank you so much, everybody, again, for joining me. Remember to be better today than you were yesterday, and be better tomorrow than you were today. That's all I got. Thank you, everybody, again, for joining me today for this live stream, and I will see you next time. Bye.
You are all weirdos. Ugh.